Welcome to the world's shittiest garage build, stroke extension build. And if we go on the roof, I can safely say the roof is absolutely knackered. Look at it. Definitely a new building technique I've never seen before. Polycarbonated sheets, on top of that plasterboard, on top of that some polystyrene insulation, and on top of that is some more plasterboard. Currently we're at the back end of the garage now, so I'm what, 2/3 in of knocking down the garage. And this is the shed part. Oh, look at that. Looks like a 6-foot fence panel for the roof. Just oodles of scrap wood. God, that's the worst build I've ever seen. And I've just removed that from that wall. I'll be glad when this is all gone. It's a nightmare. So that's the old workshop piled up in a corner. It's just starting to snow, typical British weather. But it's now time to start with the framework for the new workshop. So I'm not breaking any rules or planning regulations. I cannot build above 2.5 metres. Now, as you see, it's a bit of a flat roof. It does fall. It falls in 1 in 40. So on this side, it's roughly round about 2.5 metres. Or below. If we're not going any higher, then it's that green tape there. On this side is 2.4 metres. I will be having a rubber membrane roof to keep dry. Unfortunately, the first 2 posts have been an absolute pain in the ass to do. First post and the old fencing was originally lined up with the front end of the house, and I cannot go past the front elevation of the house because it's not within the planning permit. Now I'm on with the side wall of the workshop, and yeah, this fence is absolutely knackered. It's not our fence, it's our neighbour's fence. Probably doesn't help because they've just left the bush to grow, and over the years it's just got damp and rotten. Not our problem, like I say, it's the neighbour's fence. Now we did have original fence, which is here. I went along here, so I've taken that down because I want to get as close as possible to the boundary line. But I am stepping out these new fence posts from where the old fence posts were, so I've come out about 1.5 inches, so I can just fit the guttering inside. Just gives me enough room to fit the guttering on the inside, and it's still on our boundary line. I'm going to put this post in now. So I've spent the last week in cutting, painting and measuring up all this lot here. Now in theory, on paper, it should all slot and slide together with minimum screws and bolts. We'll soon find out. All this has to go in here. on day 3 now. I did not pick up the camera yesterday because where I was working, just outside that doorway there, it is a bit tight. I ain't got enough room for myself, letting on the camera. But yesterday, this is what I did. I started putting up the walls for the workshop. Because I'm on a tight budget, I worked out the cheapest way in doing this was to buy the fence panels, the heavy duty feather lapped fence panels, 35 quid each. You can't go wrong. I could not buy the materials on their own and build one myself cheaper, so this is the cheapest option for me. Obviously there'll be people out there thinking it's not the best option. It isn't, but I am on a budget, and the deeper the budget I go into this workshop build, it comes out of the van build budget, so I don't want to be taking too much money out of the van build budget. Anyhow, basically I bought 6 of these feather lapped heavy duty fence panels. Initially they were spun the other way around with a capping on top. I've removed the capping, I framed each fence panel. I already had the framework down the sides, but horizontally I've fitted more framing, so it's all framed off. And basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to infill each gap with these fence panels. Now I have painted the outside because once it's on there I'm not going to be able to get to it. I don't think it's going to see much weathering in all honesty, so it should be fine for a good few years. So I'm going to get all this stuff up today, then I'm going to go through this wood pile behind me and sort all that out and see what I can salvage from that wood pile. I'm going to be honest with you, it's mostly rotten stuff, so my hopes are not going to be high on that. Anyway, let's get this wall up. Received the OSB board sheets for the roof. Of course I would have done the roof first before the flooring, but I did have to wait a while for those, but they're here now. I've also installed the fascia and soffits around the workshop, or the backing plates at least, so it's just a case of fitting those sheets onto the roof. Now, I am going to use EPDM upon this roof because it's pretty good stuff. It will outlive me, it's maintenance free, so it should last for around about 50 years. It measures 5 metres by 8 metres, it's 1 mil thick, and it weighs 90 kilograms. So as you can quite imagine, it was a joy in trying to lift upon this roof by myself. Also, you will notice I laid out these OSB board sheets. Yeah, tongue and groove, so I've glued them together and gone round with the orbital sander and just sanded down the edges so nothing sharp is protruding from the roof, which may puncture this rubber membrane sheet. I'm going to glue it upon these sheets. We've got the edging glue, so that will be used for the entire perimeter of the roof, and this bonding glue as well, which will be used within the middle of the roof. It is going to be locked down on all the sides, so I've got some soffits to go on each end of the workshop and a drip off soffit on the bottom end, so obviously the roof is leading that way, so I'll have a bit of a drip off soffit which will go into a gutter on that side, and I shall glue it upon brickwork here as well. So it's another day and another build, and I've got this old thing to knock down, left by the previous owners of the house. I hope this isn't a bad idea. I've only just built that shed.